again, and we're just
Yeah.
here to talk about our topic of the week, which is now the time. So our first card that we drew was actually wait. It's not yet time, things are being woven. And what that means is like, it's like, don't try to rush back into your old world. You know, it's like you're being given a break right now for like a reason, right? So it's like, take a break, be still, go in, fine tune, and then come into like the bigger, the bigger picture.
Yeah, because
Sorry, I just wanted. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because this is also a new way to really rewrite what even healing looks like. Because before,
Right.
it's like in the old ways, it's like we were go, 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 and healing looked like, something that was kind of hard to attain, right? Like the time, the everything. So this is really about being able to even relearn, what does healing look like for me? What does that look like to be in my body? What does that look like to find something that feels good? Or before, I might have seen healing like, oh, I need to lose that weight. I need to, do this workout. It's like more of a have to, and a like more vigorous energy behind it, of like this needing to have this drive. And it's like, how can we integrate in more gentle healing that it's still, physical body, like working out, emotional, spiritual, they're all interwoven. But it's like within that, how can you start to rewire and find the yumminess in what healing can look like now?
Yeah. I just want to say hi, Angie. Yes, birthday twin. We both have the same birthday. But yeah, so this is like, it's such an amazing time for us to do all of your journaling work, read the books you've been wanting to read, learn a new language if you want to. It's like, some of you I know have been wanting to be like life coaches or healers. Like, this is the time for you to like pick up all those studies and like reboot your internal operating system. So by the time this whole thing's over, you get to have a brand new, fresh start. You get to come out being like, this is exactly who I am and what I've been wanting to do, instead of kind of like, following someone else's timeline and rhythm and agenda. You get to create your own timeline, rhythm, and agenda.
Yeah, and all those things, even like you said, learning a new language or something like those.
Oops.
It's like, oh.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a second.
Froze.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, we're back. Tech. Okay. So the second card we got was Earth School. Oops. So Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, steady, higher learning. Like, this is literally like a time to reboot your entire operating system. So it's like, if you haven't been able to work out as much, like, this is time to build up your physical body, your physical strength. If you haven't been able to take time to, work with a healer intensely, this is like a good time to get all your sessions in and process and download and journal and purge. And like, if you've been wanting some time to like get your like, your food routine going, this is the time to like get on the cleanse, have everything you need delivered to you, and just like, take care of your body temple, right?
Yeah, how to really tune in more with your natural rhythms. Because again, it's like everything that's been going, it was halted, right? The energy, all the momentum behind it. And now it's a time like, versus like that first card, stop, wait, go. Don't go back into the old habits and patterns. Everything's been halted. So how is it that you want, what's going to be the new normal? What's going to, what can really integrate in as the new normal can be more attuned with the natural rhythms and that natural cycles and what it is. And it's like ways and learn, like new ways to learn how to really nurture and have the things nurtured and heal in the way and create time and space for that as we continue forward.
Yeah. And you always want to think about like win-win-win situations, right? So if you're operating in a way where it's like you feel really good, your client feels really good, your family members feel really good, then you're getting like a good balance. It's like, if anywhere you're like, oh, everyone else around you feels good, but you're feeling tired and drained, then you want to reassess, like, where is that energy off balance? And it's kind of funny, but I was watching yesterday, like Planet or something, like one of those, one of those shows, and it was like talking about like the ice caps like melting and like how fast it's melting. And I was just like, oh, that's because so many of us are off our rhythm. Like so many, you know, like animals are on rhythm. They're like, oh, I'm supposed to be here at this time. So it's like they're in tune with like the earth grid, right? With the energetic earth grid. Mm-hmm. We have those instructions inside of us of like, I'm supposed to be here at this time. I'm supposed to do this. And when you listen to that internal calling, it's like everything just like works out for you because you're in the right place at the right time, right? And so this is a good time for us to like fine tune those skills and remind ourselves like, how do we listen to that internal signal, right? Mm-hmm. And I think when we do that, then we become more harmonious with the planet, and things like, you know, like the ice caps melting will start to shift and change, right? So this is like Earth being like, hey, let's slow down, come back to Earth school. Like we're just like, let's take a little break, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's what, you know, it's like finding a new way to really integrate, because it's like technology and the beauty of it and all the advancements that it brings. And so now we've like been on fast forward mode, and now coming back to those more natural rhythms and cycles, how does this like technology want to integrate with that in a way where it's like we're not leaving everything behind, we're not leaving our natural rhythms behind, but we can really integrate in a new way the healing momentum that's meant to happen, like through the technology, through our natural rhythms, like in a way that's like we can keep growing and evolving, but like the ebbs and the flows, like just kind of dancing within that rhythm, right?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. You know what's something super cool that I learned in college way back in the day? But it was, you know, Japan is one of the most like modern like civilizations, like what they get to use and do. And it's 20 Japanese people to 1 American. That's the amount of resources that are being used. That means like 1 American uses the same amount of resources as 20 Japanese people. So when we look at that, it's like, it doesn't mean we have to take our modern life away, right? It just means like we need to change our practices so that things are more efficient. Like for instance, like I know in Japan, they're really great on like recycling, like very specific on how they recycle and how they compost and all the, you know, it's just like everyone's doing their part, right? And so when each person is doing their part, and then when it becomes a habit, it's just easy, right? It's just like, oh, this is just what we do, right? And Jen, I know you know that there's like, you know, you said there's all these different resources of like cleaning up the oceans and things like that. But yeah, maybe we can chat a little bit about that, because I think this is us having some time to like really see what we've been doing to the planet and like readjusting how we've been operating so that we can like be different at the time, you know, like come out on a different, you know, like different timeline, like be in a different reality, basically.
Yeah, because there's just as many actually beautiful healing things that are happening in the world as much as like the shit that we see, right? So it just doesn't get reported, but there's so many people, so many advancements, so many technologies, so many, you know, people doing things. I remember reading an article years ago about, it was like, you know, the seven countries of Africa like trying to work together to replant the Sahara, you know, because like, if you think about it, all of our nutrients, all of our everything, right? It's all from there. It's like goes the wind, the dust that blows in the ocean, like everything. It's like, we are part of one big ecosystem. So it's like within that, all the advancements, right? It's like, we've been on a trajectory of all the like pain, fear, scarcity, all of those things, and that momentum that's why healing has been like, oh, there's not time to heal. It's just, we've been in survival mode, right? And now on a global level, we're being given a chance to like test and see like, oh, what are these healing things that we can tap into? What is going on? What can I do in my personal life? What can I be a part of? What can we get behind as a, you know, personal, but also global level? So there's so many systems and forms. And it's like, if, you know, there's this Instagram, it's called like Good News Movement. Ooh. And I basically, I swear, I'm like, I dreamed this in years ago, because it's like, they report you know, they report all good news, like different stories, things that are going on. I just go on there and I like cry happy tears because I'm just like, see, there's so much going on. And it's like, Because here's the thing, even with the coronavirus, there's like all these beautiful news movements they're showing where it's like people are coming together. There's like whole neighborhoods singing, to this woman on her 89th birthday. And I was just like bawling because I was like, just think, like, those are things, if we were just in the norm momentum of what's going on, that might have not gotten recognized. And here, like, everybody's celebrating this woman, and she's in tears. It's like they're all singing to her, the whole neighborhood. I'm like crying now because it's so beautiful, because it's like, oh my gosh, it's like through the pain, through all the stuff that comes up, it's that opportunity to heal. It's the opportunity to learn more, to go deeper, to understand more about ourselves and the world and how it is that we all interact. And so through a lot of the stuff that's happened, as much as like it's felt kind of shitty, it's like when you can look at a bigger scope, a bigger level, a higher perspective of what's going on, this is really about bringing us together. This is really about the healing that is available right now, that is asking to be accessed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved reading about like Italy. They said like the dolphins are coming into, the cities because like the boats are, not operating. So it's like now the dolphins can actually like go into the water.
And the pollution's clearing up everywhere. I mean,
yeah. And the thing is, it's like, and that's what truth is. Like truth is prosperity. Like truth is wealth. Like when we look in the animal kingdom, it's like everything's provided for. It's like crazy to see. Like I was just watching yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know there were that many birds or like that many fish, but it was like everything comes in abundance, and so it's like we're given this opportunity to break our patterns of thinking that there's lack, and operating from that space for so long, and really step into like, actually, we're so abundant. Like even right now, like I bet there's going to be a lot of people realizing, wait, I haven't worked, but I'm okay. Like I'm safe. Like, that's such a new concept, because in your brain, it's going to say, oh, I have to keep working in order to survive. But now everyone's going to take a break and be like, actually, like, I'm okay. And that's obviously not everybody, but there's going to be a huge majority of people that are seeing that and realizing, hey, there's a different way. Like our culture can operate in a different way.
Yeah, so where that can bring up a lot of fear and survival, right? Because that's the way we've been surviving so long. It's off the scarcity, it's off having to go. But and that's why now is the time to heal, because this is really what's wanting to be rewired, is that there is another way to not just survive, but really thrive in our lives in the way the earth provides so much. And it's like when we can learn how to really integrate the new systems, the new ways that are coming in with technology, with our natural rhythms and our cycles, then everybody, like Sam said, can win. It's because we're meant to. And that doesn't mean that we're never going to feel, pain or shit again. But it's like within that, though, it's really about that always offers a learning opportunity. It always offers a chance to heal deeper these patterns, these woundings, these cycles, all of it.
Yeah, I always say the difference between like suffering and a challenge is like something uncomfortable, but you're going to move through it, you're going to grow through it. But like suffering is like a pattern, it's like you just keep on the cycle, and it's like you see the difficulty, but you're just kind of wallowing in it instead of like growing through it, right?
Yeah, and even in the immune system, it works differently. So if we see something as a stressor and we say, oh my God, it's killing me, then it actually, in a chemical, it starts to react chemically and it becomes pathogenic. It becomes a pathogenic stress, and it does slowly begin to kill you. But if we see something in the way of like, like, shit, this is hard, but I got this. It's like climbing a mountain. Okay, I may not have all the answers, but like, I know I can do it. It actually sets up your immune system in a whole nother way. A whole different chemical pathway happens. Your immune system gets boosts, like everything. It actually becomes like invigorating in your body, mind, and spirit in a way of like it changes, it rewires like the whole neural pathway that happens. And
really I think a lot of people don't realize like you're the CEO of your own universe, right? So it's like these cells, like trillions of cells, like in your body, like you're the CEO. You're the one giving the commands to your body, to your physical vehicle, to your life, and it's like, what are those directions that you're giving yourself all the time? Is it Browning or Taylor? Yeah, so it's like what we talk about, like we bring about. And like that brings us to this next piece. It's like if we just start to focus on what we actually want to see on the planet, like that's going to change everything, right? It's like if everybody decides right this second, like, hey, let's plug into good news, those are the things that get to be created a lot faster right now because the matrix is basically dismantled and dropped right now. What that means is like people have been going on these like cycles and doing these things that like is creating a level of suffering. They're like, oh, I don't really want to be at my job, but I'm like doing this thing anyways, right? But now they're just like at their homes, right? And it's like, yes, they're suffering, but really they're bringing up old patterns to be processed. So it's a little bit different. So that means like that whole matrix is dismantled, it's shut off. So the things that we want to create right now, like this is the time. Like this is the time to like use your imagination and like cultivate the things that you want. Like there's so many like healers that I've been talking to, like the things I want to manifest is just coming in so much faster right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's exciting. Well, and two, it's like I know we've talked about it, Sam, with Solit and different things in the way of that. We've been hearing so much on an esoteric realm, for thousands of years that these old forms and systems were going to dismantle, right? They're not serving. And we didn't necessarily think that, it was going to happen in our lifetime.
Right.
And, and we're seeing it. And it's that matrix really dismantling and saying like, how do we want to start creating in this way, this new world, this new possibility and all the dreams and healings, that is wanting to be birthed forth. And where I think a lot of, people who are light workers and have been, it's like working in the energetic field, it's like, can see that, but they're really being asked to be step up right now and say like, hey, this old form is not working. And so it's like, we're having to relook at, even money systems, like energetics, like just old systems, all these things. And it's like, okay, the truth of what's wanting to come in, the divine law, not man's law, not man's way of the way it's had to be, is really wanting to be dismantled so it can come back into alignment with like, again, that we are source, we are those divine creators, we're part of it, we can be tapped into it, that alignment, that like resource is available to us at any time. And it's like, again, finding that dance and the flow within it. And it's such a powerful time to be alive right now and really creating and healing these things.
Yeah, it's like people don't even realize like there's a full spectrum of joy that like we as a collective haven't even touched yet, haven't even accessed yet. It's like we don't have to use drugs to get there. It's like we're capable of reaching that in our own bodies. But as a collective, we have to choose to clean up enough of our wounds, right? We have to clear out enough wounds so that like we can have that direct connection. And the other piece is like, unless we ask for help from our guides, like unless we ask for assistance from the cosmos, like, hey, like just clean up my light field, it's like just do it. Like unless we ask, like we don't get to receive that, because that's just like free will. That's just like the way that the video game of life has been like set up, So
yeah, it's like our guides have a divine purpose and plan, but they're also not invasive. Like they're not going to come in and be like, we're going to do, sometimes they'll come in and help and assist, of course, regardless. But it's like really when you can, ask for that help and say, hey, like on a conscious level, I'm ready to start healing these things and tuning up that frequency.
Yeah, when I first started, like every night I'd be like, okay, star beings, like work on my system. And I would feel like these little like tickles and tingles like all through my body. And it was like, I wasn't the same person anymore. Like I was not playing the same level of victim anymore. It's like, it wasn't like I don't still sometimes get down there, but it was like never as deep, like the hole was never as deep as I used to like get into, And so it's like, I just encourage people like, to tune in, like journal, like connect with your guides, like ask them for support, ask Cosmos for support, whatever, like external energy that you feel. It's not even external, it's internal. It's like we're all connected. So but like whatever phrase you use for like that higher power, like just call it in.
Yeah, and I think it's just that reminder of tapping in that you don't have to do it alone. And I think so much in our societies we've gotten away from the tribal mentalities and the ways like we've become kind of isolated in like the family units where it's like, okay, now we're this family and we're in here and we got to figure everything out, where before it was like, there was the elders that had shared wisdom, the kids were getting raised by all the aunties, uncles, so it's like the parents weren't having, it wasn't all having to come from that resource, and the children were reminding of the magic. There's all these ways that where it's like, it's kind of tuning in. It's like with your guides, your resources, it's like that remembrance that you don't have to do it alone. And there's so many resources available that are ready to support you. And all you have to do is say yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Yay. So yeah, if anybody has like some fun questions, like we're doing this every Friday at 11:11. And but yeah, so if anyone has feedback or questions or thoughts, like we're super happy to like plug in and tune in for next week. We have one last card here, and it's water your garden. So this is nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. And the thing is, like, so many people are kind of like sleep deprived. This is the time to just like sleep, like just like, eat really good food, sleep, like just down, like let your nervous system reboot. You're not going to be tired forever. You're going to get to this point where you're like, oh my God, I'm so full. Like I've rested so deeply. And then the new level of energy that wants to come forward is going to be like, whoa, you may not even know how much energy you have when you're like fully rested.
Yeah. So it's like listening to those little hints too, because I remember it's, that's been a personal one for me as well, where it's like rest when you need, because sometimes I'd be trying to do something and then I'm like, oh, it's like, I have to do it. I just want to get it done. And it would take me maybe like 4 hours, just trying to drag out. And then when I would finally say, you know what, I'm just going to take a nap, and I might even take a 30-minute nap. And all of a sudden I do the same thing that took me 4 hours and 15 minutes. So it's just like being able to listen. Your body has the wisdom to like guide you when you need to rest, and, water and tend the garden of the things that are really calling right now.
Totally. Like if you find yourself in a negative thought cycle, like taking a nap shuts off all that momentum, then you're able to like get started again. Right. And so I feel like it's just such an easy key to have access to. And I also feel like when you're taking a nap, it's like you're tuning out so you can like plug back into source. Like your spirit's like, oh, I'm just going to get some information from up there, come back in. And then just like Jen said, boom, you get that thing done like super fast, So listen to your bodies. This is the time to come back into your own rhythm and your own alignment. And your body will tell you like, when do I want to rest? When do I want to eat? When do I want to drink water? When do I want to work out? So just like take a few moments to like listen to that, Yay. So next week, Thursday at 3:33 p.m., we do have a immune booster session. So if anybody, we love you, Brownon. Thank you so much. You're so cute. Thanks for loving all our stuff. Big love. So next week, Thursday, 3:33 p.m., we've had phenomenal testimonials so far. We had someone that had a headache for over 3 weeks. Is that right? That went away. We just had like so many people say they feel calm, they're feeling relaxed. So if you're feeling like you would like an immune system booster, just kind of let us know. We can send you the link to sign up for that for Thursday. It's only $5. And and we would just love to hear from you. So if there's like specific topics that you guys want to talk about, we'll be on here live every Friday, 11:11 a.m. Big love, Karen. Big love the whole island. Yay. Oh, I love the Big Island, actually. Awesome. Thanks, loves. Namaste. And you guys love. Ciao.